the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
This was always going to happen because the popularity of Ozempic has taken off. We know that. When 60 Minutes are doing stories on it, I think Channel 7 even did a whole special on it as well. And Hollywood stars are coming out endorsing Ozempic. It takes off. Not cheap. A lot of people using it. Now, this is what happens when something is popular like that, but people become addicted to it, and then you have problems. So they're talking at the moment, Scott Disick, which Kardashian was he married to?
Courtney.
Kate?
No, not Courtney.
Chloe.
Courtney.
So he has finally
and they have
decided...
children.
He's handed himself in. He is seeking help for his Ozempic use after he has left his friends and family shocked by his appearance. He looks gaunt. He has large black bags under his eyes. He doesn't look healthy.
Got that sunken eye look, doesn't he? Because his face is a bit skull-like.
I do think that photo we're looking at is a bit doctored.
I would assume is the perfect photo for the story, yeah.
13-24-10. Do you know something? Do you know someone that this is happening to? Claudia's given us a call. Tell us about your experience with it, Claudia.
I think it's a bit of both positive and negative. I can see why people get addicted to it, because when you do go on it, you can lose weight so quickly. But also, I've seen the scary side of the side effects as well, because I go on it and I get off it because I do faint from it, and I do feel quite sick being on it.
You've been on it. You had rapid weight loss. How many kilos did you lose?
I'm 25 kilos.
Wow. Over what time period?
Nearly a year, a bit less than a year.
Okay. And then you went off for a while, did you?
Yep, and now I went back on it again.
So you fainted a couple of times, Claudia. Are you worried? Do you feel healthy, or are there moments where the nausea is just too much for you?
It sometimes does get scary because you do get quite nauseous and you feel quite ill, and then you go, why are you doing this to yourself? And then you think, because there is somewhat health benefits. You are losing weight. I've lowered my blood pressure medication because of it. And you think of the positive, and then you go, but is it really worth it long term?
What does your day on a plate look like? Are you eating much at all?
No, I'll have a morning, like a meal replacement shake for breakfast, some grapes at lunch, and then a bit of steak at dinner. That's about all, really.
Okay. Good effort. Not much. Okay. I'm hungry.
Denise, you had some drastic side effects with Ozempic. Is that getting on it or getting off it, Denise?
It was actually while I was on it. I ended up losing about 8 kilos, which was great.
Yep.
But I ended up going to the doctor and having a blood test, and it actually affected my liver.
Yeah.
In what way?
I ended up having some of the functioning. Yeah, so my doctor recommended go off it, and as soon as I went off it, I actually ballooned.
Right.
Wow.
The weight came back.
And more?
The weight came back with a vengeance, yeah.
Right. Over what period of time did you stack it rapidly?
Probably for about 6 months.
Okay.
Afterwards. And it was, and then I've been on another diet, which has worked amazingly.
And is that a healthy diet, or is that a drug, Denise?
Oh, no, healthy. Very healthy diet.
Great.
Like eating 6 times a day, small meals. But basically it just speeds your metabolism up, which is amazing.
Well, if you had to go through that to find something that works, that's awesome. Well done.
Sue's actually, she recommends it. So what are your experiences with Ozempic, Sue?
I had really high blood pressure, was passing out at work all the time, and so my doctor said to me, and I was a bit overweight, not massively, but he said, I'm going to try you on Ozempic and see if we can get some weight off and lower your blood pressure. My blood pressure's gone down. I'm not having any more giddy attacks. I was on the full dose of Ozempic, which I lost 19 kilos since January, and now I'm back to having just half a dose, and I feel fantastic. My appetite is a bit suppressed, but I only eat what I feel like eating. I don't push myself to eat, but I still eat healthy, and I feel great.
If there's education around it, I think it can work, can't it? Because if you need weight loss to lower other levels within your body, but you know it's a temporary fix, which is going to be part of an educational program.
Yeah, but look, I think like with most drugs, there are parts of the community that are going to misuse it, and I think that's where the issues are.
I'm a little bit worried about doctors prescribing it. Look, for diabetics and for people that need it in their life, obviously that's what it was prescribed for. But if you were prescribed it, Whip, I just don't.
No, not me.
I don't understand that. That just. I don't know. It gets me down. I feel like it's a quick fix for a doctor, but you trust that profession. That's something that I don't think that needs to be prescribed.
You just need to think it is something foreign, and if there's other ways of doing it as a healthy option, then maybe so, depending on your size.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I want to talk about nicknames. Because even just reading the article, I lolled in the...
Oh, you lolled a bit, did you?
I lolled in the Home Office because I think the most... Okay, I don't like nicknames when people have given themselves nicknames.
Yeah.
But I love a nickname, and it's a bit mean, but that the person who you've nicknamed doesn't know it's their nickname. And it's just a little joke between friends like, we call such and such up the corridor. I'll give you an example because I'm not doing it very well, am I? So give us a call if you've got a funny name for someone at work, and then we can reveal what we call Whipper behind his back. It's hilarious.
That's what I was sort of waiting for, because I noted that on the ideas list. And then we can reveal to Whipper what we call him. So we'll
I
get
don't
a
speak
drum
like
roll.
that.
You're repeating the joke.
We'll get a drum roll for that, Jess, for when that... Not yet, Jess.
No, not
so
yet.
We'll do that at the end.
Hang on
really...
for that. That's hilarious. I've got a few here just to get the ball rolling. If you've got one, give us a call. They've surveyed all these people. So there's one guy, and I don't know, he's got a very busy street, but doesn't know the name of the neighbours except for the nickname. So they call one guy the Torch up the road. He's now moved on, which is probably for the best, because there was no do-it-yourself job around the house or around the yard that he wasn't prepared to set himself on fire for. So they called him the Torch. I love this one. We had a dead Dave down the street because no one had seen Dave for a while, so everyone thought he died. Did you know Dave died? No, he didn't die. But now they just call him Dead Dave. They call another guy Thong Man, and that is because apparently the wife, this guy's wife who's telling us the nicknames, a parcel arrived on their doorstep that wasn't from them, and they opened it up and it was a pleather thong. And then they've obviously had to go up the road and give the box back and say, I think you're missing this. So now Thong Man lives at number 69, I'm guessing.
What?
A pleather thong, which is what I wore to Australian Fashion Week yesterday.
Cass, what's the nickname for the neighbour?
Hi, we've got a person who likes to break into our home and raid our pantry. So we call him Goldilocks.
Or the thief.
Are you serious?
You could use the word criminal if you want to.
Are you mates with him though, Cass?
No. And the police say he's harmless.
Well, he's a criminal, though.
He's breaking. This is exactly what
He's
we
a
say.
thief.
So when it actually happened about 5 years ago, I was sitting on the front veranda checking my emails, having my cup of tea one morning. And when I went to go back inside, noticed that there was curried rice down the hallway and thought, these damn kids, they've fed the dogs curry, and I was cursing. And it wasn't until 7 o'clock that night when my daughter came home and went to her room and started screaming. He'd eaten the curried rice in her bed, climbed through her window while I was on the front veranda.
Sounds harmless to me.
And he'd locked me out.
Cass, you need to do something about this.
Immediately.
We have called the police because he'll come and eat from our bins. My neighbour will send a message, Goldilocks is on the loose, close your gate. We call the police all the time. And there's like, it's Joel. They call him Joel, but we call him Goldilocks. And he's harmless. But, he's not harmless if I meet him in the hallway.
Yeah, no,
in
that
my
freaks
home.
you out.
No, he's not.
No, your kids
Or when
are
he's
there.
lying
No.
in your daughter's bed eating curry.
Yeah, I could not get her back in that bedroom for a week.
Funny that.
Gosh, all right.
Okay, guys, this is a really big moment for the show because last night on the email it went back, wait till we tell Whipper what his nickname is behind his back. So let's get a drum roll for Kate's.
Have a beat ready, Jess.
Here we go. What bullying have you got for this morning?
I've got to find the message. Sorry, guys. These aren't great. Because these are the things we would say to you. Like the big rig, that's a good one.
That's not it.
The beast from the east.
That's not it.
Whipper the double dipper.
What does that mean?
Well, you work it out, mate. You know.
Sorry, mate.
That's great.
Is it?
No, and my favourite is Whopper. I mean, but you know that one, so it's not really fair.
Thank you, Kate Ritchie, and thank you, Ryan James Fitzgerald.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Do you remember the old cigarette lighters in cars?
Yes.
Dangerous.
Yeah, with the rings inside it.
You'd press it in, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and then it'd pop out.
Remember that, Kate, just to light up your dart back in the day. But the thing is very dangerous because as a kid, when Mum or Dad popped out of the car and you had a couple of friends in there, nothing better than burning stuff with a bit of the cigarette lighter. You can't have... They're not in there anymore for obvious reasons. Okay, I'm going to show... Right, so I got in the car the other day and I thought there was a cigarette lighter because Lenny had a mate in the car, right? Fred was in there with him and I thought the boys had burnt my car. And then I realised, I'm going to show you a photo here. I had a 2-litre water bottle in the middle of the car. I got out of the car for a couple of hours. Now, Kate, what's happened, right?
I can see that.
So what's happened?
This is the centre console. I can see some damage.
Yeah, the centre console, and there's leather on the top of the armrest in the middle there, right?
Yeah.
The sun had come up through the front of the car. It has gone through the water bottle. It hasn't burnt the water bottle because it was full of water, but it's magnified through the water and the water bottle. And I could smell it as soon as I got in the car. It's burnt my car. The magnification has burnt my car.
Is that is a...
Could have started a fire.
Yeah, does this happen?
Well, do you know what? It happens more often than you think. And 13, 24, 10, when is the magnification? I've been watching videos the last couple of days. Do you know what's another big one at home? Fish bowls. Fish bowls at home, and if the sun hits it in the right spot, it's burnt houses down.
Oh, my God.
When has the magnification burnt something 13, 24, 10? I need backup. Katie's given us a call. What randomly combusted in your front yard, Katie?
We were having our council clean-up, and a neighbour came and knocked on the front door. I opened it up and she was screaming fire. We looked out the front and everything we'd put out for council clean-up was on fire.
Oh my God.
Everything was set ablaze.
Do you know what started it?
We assume it was the mirror, that the reflection from the sunlight on the mirror had set everything else on fire. And we had some cardboard, but we also had some cabinetry and timber. There was some metal as well, which had been smoulded heated so much that it melted.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
You don't even think about it, do you?
Insurance companies would be able to know the answer to this, wouldn't they? Because if houses are burnt down, you know where a fire has started, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think they can work it out. Katie, that's an unbelievable story.
Let's go to Kate now. And what was set alight at your place, Kate?
Yeah, hi guys. So I had a little face mirror on a table on my balcony, and it had been sitting there for about 6 hours. And I was about to go out for a walk, and a friend rang, and I just happened to go and sit on a chair out on the balcony. Yeah. And as I was sitting there, the reflection from the mirror set fire to one of my outdoor chairs on the balcony.
Oh, that is so scary.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
Thank God you took that phone call.
I know, and the person who rang me, they never ring, and I was like, oh my God, it's like, I can't believe we were just about to leave the house.
As long as your eyebrows looked good, though.
Well, that's right. That's why I had it out there.
I'm putting all the because I've got a mirror in every room in this house.
That one on the ceiling you've got. I'll have to get that down. Warnie came home and burned a few rooms as well, unfortunately. Ali, what happened to when you were driving, Ali?
So I had a deodorant can in my car. I was driving an old school Beetle at the time, and then all of a sudden it's like I heard a bang, and I just assumed, it's an old car. But my deodorant can had exploded in the back seat, so luckily I didn't have it in the front, and it cracked the whole can, split in half, deodorant everywhere.
Was it from the heat, Ali, or you don't know?
Yeah, from the heat, because I had been working all day, had it in the car, didn't even realise, jumped in, and it's not obviously old school car, not the fastest thing to cool down, and then, it just exploded everywhere.
The only positive, the silver lining out of that the car would have smelt magnificent, wouldn't it?
You did. You didn't need spray.
Adelaide.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Had a beautiful weekend, guys.
Share.
Got out of town.
Share.
Went down to Victoria, and I've realised I don't really know. And this is so sad. I don't really know Victoria very well. I've travelled to Melbourne so many times over the years, and it's embarrassing when I start speaking to people from Melbourne where my knowledge of Melbourne is really just the Logies and staying at South Bank.
Just fly down for awards, dude.
Oh, Melbourne's so great.
You grab the gold and come home, mate.
Great food and coffee, and you get your makeup done and go to the Logies. And I know there's much more to Victoria than that.
You messaged saying I had the best coffee of my entire life.
I did, at a place called The Store on Phillip Island.
Yeah, right.
Phillip Island. So that's a couple of hours out of Melbourne, is that correct?
It did. It took a couple of hours to drive there from the airport. And I wanted to go down and see the little penguins.
Oh, the fairy penguin.
Oh, so the penguins come out of the ocean just on dark and they kind of waddle up and it's all very cute. And we partly did that because my daughter has Pengy, who is this incredible soft toy. And
gotcha.
I could fill you in on the journey of Pengy. This is Pengy number 2 because the first Pengy was left at the mother-in-law's house and then apparently put in the mail and then never arrived.
Lenny's still got Porcupine and Foxy.
Really?
Yeah.
Good team.
So we took Pengy to meet the penguins.
And he's 19 now, which is a bit weird.
Oh, we've all got a soft toy we fancy,
weird
don't
with his
we?
first girlfriend.
But it was really amazing. Stayed at some beautiful accommodation, which was kind of, it felt like you were a million miles from anywhere.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Bought some tea towels.
Good news.
Wow, big, huge weekend for Kate.
Pull your head in.
I got 2 Phillip, and the thing is, now you've even ruined my tea towel buying experience because I bought 2 tea towels, and all I could think of is you guys thinking, "Oh, how sad! She's so sad." But I've got 2 Phillip Island tea towels.
Wow.
And then I got a Melbourne tea towel with a tram on it.
Oh, you got
so beautiful.
You got 2 from Switzerland from me last week.
Oh, I did. I didn't mention those because they'll have to, you said I have to put them on the story. So I haven't had time to do that.
Did you get us anything? Did we get it?
This story, and I haven't even started it yet. So, you know how you hear all these horror stories about people risking their lives to get the perfect photograph?
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky to be here today.
What did you do?
I nearly died on Phillip Island at 5 Acres. And imagine if it had ended like that. In some ways, it would have been perfect. I would have been on acreage in the middle of nowhere where no one was bothering me with my daughter. I mean, it's practically Kate Ritchie heaven. And so I'm checking out the farm that we're staying on, and the family that live there are just so lovely. And little Oscar's showing us around, and they had those amazing Highland cattle, right?
Oh yeah, with the fringe.
With the fringe, so cute.
Fringe and horns. Yeah.
I'm leaning in, like it's all, about the gram. I haven't even put this photo up, but I will show it to you in a second. Because it's not even a great photo. It's not a great photo, but I could be dead. I was leaning so far into the fence because you couldn't go into the actual paddock because there was one female, one male, and I think he gets a bit cranky. Leaning so far into the fence that all of a sudden, as I'm leaning to try and get the perfect shot, I don't know what happened, but I was electrocuted because it was an electric fence. Have a look at the photo that I got.
It's amazing.
It's a great photo. Yeah,
I mean, it's perfect. Would you put that on the gram?
Yeah, it looks shaky because you've been zapped on the back of the neck. Where did the fence line get you?
Well, in my hand, because I'm doing
your hand,
this.
yeah, right.
I know people listening, but I'm leaning in.
You're leaning over.
It's a little
with
zap.
No, it's not.
It's pulsating.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But you know what the scary thing is that I realised?
Yep.
That I must have so much pain in my life. For probably 3 seconds.
What happened?
I didn't even notice I was being electrocuted. And I thought,
What's this weird feeling?
I think, and then the woman, Katie, she said, you're being
Your eyes are hanging out of your head.
electrocuted. I said, you better be careful. I'll be out here in the middle of the night jumping on beds.
Won't be the last time.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
So how to get out of a conversation. Everybody's been in that moment. And normally if you're...
Great. Can I write this down?
Normally
How
if
do you
you're...
get out of a break?
You're paid to be part of this conversation, Ryan. And Kate, I need 3 minutes of your time. I don't ask a lot.
Yeah. But I'm just the sugar on top.
How good's the sugar? You wouldn't have it without it, would you? Anyway, so when you're in a conversation, and normally if it's a social situation, let's say you're at a party, let's say you're at the pub, whatever it might be, and you've kind of had enough of that chat. Now, normally your go-tos are, that's a great story. I'm just going to get a drink. Do you want one? So you kind of did that one, and hopefully they don't say, no, I'm all right. It's because you don't want to bring one back for them. Or the other one is, that's amazing. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I am busting for a wee. Anyway, great to chat.
That's amazing.
Good to see you.
What if they're telling you about their unwell mother?
Well, then you give them a little bit more.
Like
don't
what?
you? Or you drag.
Or swap the word amazing out for.
That's tough. That's really tough. I'm so sorry.
Hold that thought. I'm going off to the...
Yeah, I've got a terrible stomach. I'm sorry, I've got leaky bum at the moment. I better go. So that's not the example of how you get out of it.
Okay, good.
So they're the bad exsamples. That's what everyone does.
Scribble that out.
Scribble that out, Ryan. Go from the top. New page. Delete leaky bum. So what their advice is that whatever you start the conversation with. So for an example, Kate, if I walk up to you and I say, hey, how you been? And you go, good. What's been happening? And then you say, I was just around at Mum's place this afternoon. We were looking through some old photos. Let's say that's the conversation. And then it comes... Cool. It might go back to something else. It might go elsewhere, like a holiday you could chat about. It might be something to do with work.
Conversation breakdown.
But then how I wrap it up to get out of it is I go back to the first topic that we spoke about.
Which is my mum.
Your mum and the photo album.
But that's you're just saying that as an example. If we had to circle back to what we first would talk about normally when you approach me is something about you giving me a massage.
Okay,
or something inappropriate. Hey, Kate, you've worked your buzzies off today.
Mate,
that's a classic one that he says.
That's what John Whipley says.
And then you circle back to what was your cup size again?
Yeah. Your mum's got cancer. No worries. Hey, you been working your buzzies off today?
And the next thing you know, she's left you. Conversation over.
Yes. Well, that's it for us today, guys.
Yeah.
There is a brand new Educate podcast.
I love Educate.
We spoke with Fletcher. I'm not sure if you know her, but she's an incredible...
singer?
Yeah. Did you see it on the sheet? She's an incredible artist. She's heading here in July, brand new album, In Search of the Antidote. But, really fun chat.
Yeah.
And has hung out with the likes of Charlie XCX and Taylor Swift.
Awesome.
And has just fantastic, great stories, and is on the up and up. So make sure you check it out. Brand new Educate podcast now.
Yes, well, normally I do. Normally I lie in the bath and listen to the Educate podcast.
Do you? That's a great idea.
It's relaxing and entertaining.
Please keep your togs on. We're out of here.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.